Uh, I'm wearing this hat. Uh, I do feel my head to be actually extremely heavy. I'm actually tired to eating, but I actually need to compensate with my vitamin D and my omega 3 pills. I feel much energized and I can accomplish tasks better than any other days. The winter is closing up. I rather actually prefer for my health, I prefer actually to spend the winter in Austria or in Vienna, developing my project, developing my startup, and advancing in a lot more. So I did it actually is like for three main categories: energy and environment, law, and something else. I did say probably economics, but I didn't wish for it. I actually submitted a piece of paper to the Danish embassy or the Danish foreign ministry. I did ask for them actually a way to retrieve a certain sum of money. To me, actually, maybe 100,000 euro is a lot of money. However, getting actually my calculation straight and doing things actually in a rather efficient manner, I think I worked up some over there, and it's about actually 4,774,000 euro, which means like seven figures. From actually what I have achieved during a kind of a short lapse of time. I keep on going and using my Danish account in here, and I actually retrieve like 8 euros a week. So actually to eat, buy food and other stuff, because I cannot cope with the environmental hazards and the toxicity that there is in this region of the world. That's why actually like in the first 8 months or something, I didn't go out much, simply actually going to Algiers and coming back. But yeah, it's like when I breathe something, I get actually fuzziness in my head. It means like there is like some an opening port that goes actually into my brain actually, and the food that I eat isn't actually treated very well to actually accomplish on my body. So I have strength in my arms, I have little strength in my legs, but it doesn't go to the central parts or the central organs, which actually makes me worry. I kept actually my condition very hidden from my family, that even now they have actually some sort of disbelief or on what I'm going through. I did actually say that I did plan everything with money, with cost, with financial. I think I have a neurological nurse. I think I have booked a brain surgery or booked some sort of a brain treatment or a meeting with a brain surgeon. I had actually a colleague of mine or a friend of mine who has been doing this, and I am not thinking that this is imaginary from my part. What is imaginary is like the hold up and very, 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 very tough administrative and legal procedures that I have to go through just to obtain some sort of legal property. And that's why when I read history and I read world affairs and world news, I do think that people are actually extremely right in what they are saying and what they are doing. To actually survive and be able actually to live a normal life as a normal man life. I did actually decide to group up a team of people or 4 people who knows me and that I know them very well. I did actually group that actually under like the project of multi-layer, multi-energy system based on environmental sustainability. I absolutely did not give away that work. I protected it with copyrights, and if someone find it with someone else, they should actually apply the necessary legal measures because it's my work exclusively. I only had it actually with Finnish copyright standards, and I've studied in Sweden, and I still have some sort of kind of an okay relationship with part of the country actually. The business plan actually is best practices in terms of environmental sustainability for residential and industrial areas. I did actually detail that work extremely. I used the Canadian business model and I did all of that. And I added the name of the company, Complex Systems and the Environment. I did have actually the entirety of my life studying energy policy, energy economy, energy efficiency, and a lot of booklets and handbooks. I came up actually with a novel specific to me. I actually do wish to sell the work, but it's like I can sell writings, but I do wish actually to occupy my time to actually development of such structures and such things in uh, in actually in actually a neutral European country, which is Austria. When I actually look at all my past, my writings, my history, and all of that, I've only witnessed or that I only have to say that I do have plans, I do have a network, I do have a market, and I do have accessibility and flexibility from people from several regions, from several actually regions of the world. And when I mean regions, it's like in a certain country, I do have like a certain basis or a certain person or a certain entity or a certain group of people whom I can count on actually to develop something in that specific country. But then they will actually need some sort of extensions and some sort of actually of a corridor to go in and out, or corridor to attach it actually with the main system, and then they have their own network through that. And I do have this actually in several countries. This is not from my pure imagination actually. I did add a lot, I did write, I did quantify a lot. I do actually feel yeah, and this I did have actually received a lot of attacks while I was actually present in this country. I did not give this work to any member of the family. I gave actually the work to no one. But actually it's like they're actually people simply occupied by actually not investing and not putting actually all their efforts in the country where they are living. I did not give the work to Germany because when I actually see the deranged individual, the deranged behavior from let's say the head of a party, which is actually in Germany, and they're actually copying all that I have written and all my plans and deciding actually to spread it out. And I did not ask your assistance. I asked your assistance in February 2017, on the 5th or the 2nd of February 2017, and it was a complete failure. In August 2017, I thought that individuals would it was actually for me to sort out my paperwork, but we meet actually all kind of people who just attack me who attack me personally for no particular reason. They just do it out of the blue. I go actually to a certain police station. Hey, how are you? This is my resume. This is all that I have accomplished in my life. This is all my palmarès. This is all the people that I know. This is all the people that I work with. This is all the people that I know for at least 7 years. 7 years is a very long period of time for me and for like people who actually have some sort of activity. I know all those people. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet them in the past. I went to Sweden actually, but things didn't quite went that well. But I do actually face this type of individuals who are actually not in a peaceful state of mind with an individual like me. They intrude my life. They don't respect my life, and they infiltrate it in so many ways. I don't even get my wage. I don't even get my earnings. I don't even get my salary. I don't even get my actually prizes and a lot of things. I ask people, but like it's just like roam around. This is actually not normal behavior, but in this country where I live in and what it is inflicted upon me, it is actually completely normal. So I do say to people, I go to this location, to this location, to this location, to this location. I write in A4 paper, printed A4 paper, written clearly. I have actually bold letters and letters which are actually underlined. When I wrote actually in French or English, I have letters actually which are actually in italic. I do write and I ask this and I ask that, but then I have actually this type of attacks that I just get, and it's just a pile and a pile and a pile and a pile of attacks that just came because some few children who were actually in Sweden were not actually able to cope with their failure. So I did explain the origin of my work. Professor Sigurd Wagner gave me a piece of paper, gave us a piece of paper. We worked on it. We went back to our respectful universities. I took what I learned from that period of time. I was actually between September 2015 and December 2015. I had no visitors. I was visiting the hospitals a lot and the police a lot, and I do have faced actually an increasing amount of hostility, meaning crimes committed against me just for people to get their hands on my work. And I have actually received all types of attacks simply like that from individuals whom they think that their behavior is completely normal, in a civilized European society, or like in a civilized society, they think that their behavior is normal. They think that they intruding into someone when he's asleep is normal. They think that kidnapping females and kidnapping individuals out from the streets is normal. I do want they think it's normal to not give someone his property which has been stolen, then recover it by the security forces, then I go to get it and it's stolen again. And it's a cycle of lies, and it's a cycle of a lot of things. I don't say to wish, but I to say that to just say hail to some enemy of these individuals, but it's like maybe actually going to the financial and legal judges, which are actually again for this countries like Austria and Denmark. I did actually wish their assistance, which they are actually able to provide fully, and I actually keep on waiting. And I do actually ask for individuals to do things for me, or to highlight this or to highlight that, but I do actually face a lot of individuals from part of the European society whom they have a Nazi behavior like the Hitler era. They just commit random acts of violence against peaceful individuals or intellectuals who try actually to develop their ideas, and they keep actually their psychological and psychopathic behavior simply around just like that. And I do actually have a lot of these phases of attacks from actually let's say it 1978 and his fellows, and 1987 and his fellows, meaning like they have actually a group of people stationed everywhere whom they have actually their only task is actually to fish properties or to fish individuals who come to me and to direct them to 1978 or to 1987, and that's in the two locations where they live. I asked both of them who are the individuals who visited me prior to August 2018. Maybe they were assaulted, they were violated, as well as a lot more. And it just went on just like that. It just passed by, just like that. And whom are actually the people who are forced marriage, who are victim of forced marriage, forced pregnancy, pedophilia, rape, from the 1987 community. And I wasn't told much, but I've seen few things. And all of this is abnormal. All of this is not actually good for the currency. I remember what I was doing, I remember the type of job what I was doing, but there were actually too much competition that led actually to stupid and foolish acts. I've seen actually a lot of breach of my electronics that I thought it's much wiser actually to not talk anymore, but then it went by, time went by, and the problem wasn't solved. I actually decided to take some sort of a sabbatical, and that was in August 9th, 2018, to see what will change actually in the videos that I see in my Google Chrome, the news that I get, as well as a lot of other things. So I did actually write a piece of paper. I said I'm missing actually money from about 15 institutions that I have collaborated with in the past, and that I said that I was actually willing actually to sell my project to a few energy ministries at some rational price actually, because at some point in time I have actually a market to develop a lot of my ideas, and all of them are novel ideas, and they're like about 14, 15 or 16 IDs or novels. And not 17, not 19, non 80s, but like 16, 15, 14, like novels, depending actually on the topographical and geographical area. Why do I have actually those novels in mind? I did actually have a lot of time actually to search deeply into finding actually a solution, and I did find that type of solution. I actually try actually to find a lot of things to actually some brain fulfillment of nutrients. I did actually find actually my rest in actually the Austrian community and other communities. So I do have actually these people in here who commits when I arrived here. I only arrived in 2017 and afterwards, who only commits acts of they're criminal in nature. Those acts is like I go there, hi. So this person last night has told me to come up in the morning and to collect my properties. What did they do? Is like they waited until 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. and they gave actually my properties to other people. And that behavior from those people present on in that day was completely normal. It's not reprehended, and it really happened actually. Then on the 20th of July, I go to a certain entity, and yes, the behavior is completely normal. And I worked on human rights, women rights, and I actually listed every entity that I worked with and I collaborated with and how high is that entity. And I did mention what I was doing. I was actually most of the time at the embassy doing a lot of things. I didn't have any visitor. I didn't expect anyone in here. But I do face a lot of whores and bitches and sassy females maybe who actually just continue actually on committing all types of crimes, and there are actually men just sitting in here thinking that there is like no other female around. They can actually take a drive to Tunis and they can find actually an international community, or they can take a drive or they take a plane to Morocco and they find an international community, or they somehow actually find some sort of because the female in here is like those is like in France c'est des old c'est des vieux sorcières. Voilà, that's the word in French. C'est des vieux sorcières, c'est des vieilles sorcières. And I'm tired. And I listed all the reasons. I hope that you call your embassy or your ambassador, whom he can contact the staff who is actually in the front desk, so that we can have a civilized conversation, and for the me and the government that will host me or the entity that will host me to start actually solving the climate change issue, to do a lot of other things, and to actually stop dealing actually with these individuals who are yes, the word is like, and I'm actually a really nice guy, not really nice guy, I'm actually a guy actually who doesn't say slurs up until 2017. He's like when people didn't know the Rome Statute, the European Court of Human Rights, the Geneva Convention, I started slurring. So the word is Nazi, racist, piece of scum, shitty people.